Wow! It's 2 minutes to late night!
All right, what's up, Craft Handy Snacks? Welcome to 5 Minutes to Cast Night. It's the 2 Minutes to Late Night podcast. It's where we listen to bad albums and try to find something good about them.
Oh, hi, I'm Jeremy Hammond, and, I used to love Black Flag.
Hi, I'm local municipal volleyball referee Katie Rose Leon.
Hey, I'm Drew Kaufman, and I take the water bottle from the Uber every time, even if I'm not thirsty.
Wow.
Oh, wow. And I'm Jordan Olds, and most of my friends that have gotten married are now divorced.
Wait, who got divorced recently?
Oh,
right, don't say it on the podcast.
We'll talk about it off mic.
We'll talk about that off mic.
I just knew that was a joke that had truth in it, so I can see it in your eyes.
And today, Lucy Steiner tragically got lost in the grocery store, so we have some special guests from Ellen and the Degenerates. We have Elena Barrio and Josh Gone. You can introduce yourselves and give y'all a little nickname if you want to, like what we just did.
Okay.
Or like
hello, listeners. I'm Elena Barrio, divorcee. Looking to mingle and to jingle.
I'm Josh Guyone from Ellen and the Degenerates, and my skin really hurts from the sun.
It's called SPF. Look it up, nerds.
And yeah, we know about SPF because we're all Jews on this side.
SPF actually stands for some poolside fun. I know all about SPF.
All I know is just I was hanging out with friend of the show, Eric Shore, the other day, and he took a pause from his joint to look me in the face and he goes, Katie, you're looking so beautiful and pale. And that has taken me a lot of work this summer, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, team. Before we get into the album that I just found out existed today, Jeremy has a story from his travels. Jeremy went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Move over, Boulder, Colorado. We found the city that really rocks. I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, you guys.
Cool dad move.
It was a cool dad move.
I'm going to text my uncle about that.
Did you wear a fanny pack? What color were your shoes? Were they Chucks?
I did not wear Chucks. I saw a total of 24 Chucks while I was there.
In the cases?
No, on people.
Oh, okay.
Only one pair of Chucks in the cases, and that was on the mannequin standing in for Metallica bassist Jason Newsted.
Is this the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Is there only one?
In Cleveland, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
It does seem like a museum that should be in like every town for just like weird dads, like so rock and roll, like a hard rock cafe.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is here's the thing: is that it is in every town because literally all they have at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is the stuff that they have at hard rock hotels and cafes.
Yeah,
it's no different, and in fact, like a lot of their exhibits, you can tell are hindered by the fact that they are constantly competing with hard rock.
What? Really?
Yeah, there's so many times where you're like in the Beatles exhibit and they have like 4 things and you're like, this kind of feels like what they need to have. Yeah. You know, they don't have anything from Kiss.
Oh, yeah, I was just
You know what has something from Kiss? The Guitar Center on 14th and 9th.
It seems like they also, like, from what I've seen at Hard Rock cafes, the few that I've been inside of, like, it seems like the instruments are constantly, like, it's the wrong town for it. Like, I was reading about, like Danzig stuff, because I know we're going to do a Danzig, we're probably going to do one of Danzig's albums on this.
You don't need an excuse to read Danzig stuff. You are us.
Right, okay. But I found out that, I was doing, like, band history, and the original guitarist for the first 4 albums, John Christ, like, his guitar is in a Hard Rock cafe in Florida. They don't fucking want that in Florida. No one from Florida really cares about, like, that's the wrong place for it.
Well, on a related note, in the punk exhibit for the Hard Rock, or not the Hard Rock, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, they have a full Jerry only like spiky outfit
that they bought
thing.
at Hot Topic that morning.
Josh is shaking his head.
He definitely paid them to put that there.
Absolutely.
And then there is a Doyle guitar with like the skull on the end of it.
They didn't even have those when they were making the songs that they're in the Hall of Fame for. It's not even the right, like, you need like what, like a broken Peavey something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd think that, well, the Johnny Ramone guitar was like a complete wreck. It just looked like it had been like dropped in like a swamp 5 times.
The Cleveland Swamp.
Yeah, like Jack Nicholson was holding it when he fell into the tub.
Which, by the way, if you think that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame should not be in Cleveland, I would encourage you to maybe watch all 10 seasons of the Drew Carey Show. That theme song will prove you wrong.
Taking the mic back.
The thing with the Jason Newsted thing was that
that's amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Because, okay, so you're walking in the main display area of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, right? And you see, like, James Brown has, like, a leotard thing there that has, like, rhinestones in the front of it that say sex. And then they have, like, 5 awesome Michael Jackson outfits. They have, like, Bowie outfits. They have all these cool fucking outfits. And literally right across from all of those is just a mannequin in a black t-shirt, jeans, and Chuck Taylors holding an Ibanez 5-string bass that just says Jason Newsted of Metallica.
It's because the poster says dude asking Katie on a date in high school fell off.
Ibanez, the base of your ex-boyfriends.
It is across, literally right across from
That's nuts.
the sparkly glove. The Michael Jackson sparkly glove is at a 90-degree angle to just Jason Newsted's black t-shirt.
I'm curious about how much it costs to get in.
Yes.
Yeah, to see this.
How much?
Oh, to get into the
Yeah.
actual Hall of Fame.
Is it donation-based like the Natural History Museum?
No, it is not donation-based.
That's
It's literally
crazy.
all Cleveland has. They need that money.
If you tell them you're in a band, they will let you in for free. But I think they will actually look like the look on your fucking.
What are they? They're gonna look at your band
Yeah,
camp?
I went to my old band and they had them pull it up. So you could make a fake band Facebook to save on the fee for that Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
You think
They
would, like,
they check out your pure volume.
Yes.
It's enough of that.
They check out your pure volume and they like listen to a song and they're like, I don't know if you guys are really that serious. This feels more like a recording project.
Wait, but seriously, how much was it to get in?
$25 adult, $22 student.
Okay, so I have this is a question, but I went there. I want to say like 2000, 2002, and it was like $60 to get in. And my dad, I was there with my dad, and my dad's like, I'm not paying for that. And so we just went to use the bathrooms and leave. And on the way to the bathrooms, they have a bunch of cool stuff. And I remember distinctly in front of the men's room, there was a bunch of this is the truth, jetpack food that fish would fly into concert on. It was like a thing of like hamburgers and french fries that like flames would come out of them, and they put it on strings and they would ride onto the stage. And I'm guessing by the look on your face, that's not there anymore.
I have no idea even how to begin getting what you're talking about.
I didn't even understand.
What was in front of the bathroom? Is that still there? I guess not.
I don't even know what is. You said French
Some
fries and
hamburgers?
fire. What the fuck?
Giant, no, they're like giant food things made out of fiberglass. So like a fiberglass hamburger that shoots fire out, that the band Fish, acclaimed band Fish,
Yes.
would ride onto stage.
Okay.
Usually before they would OD on heroin.
Okay,
Acclaimed
when I heard
band
that,
Fish.
I thought like whenever they have audience, like an audience, which I guess they would as a band, like individual meals would just float out of the sky and just land in the audience. I was like, I understand why people are fish heads. It sounds fun.
You're getting a free dinner.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a free dinner.
Yeah,
I
but no,
put
the
up with
writing
jam
plastic fish. The band Fish is just like if you had a nightmare about all of the math teachers you've ever had starting a band together, and you weren't allowed to leave.
I'm gonna counter that and say that you're right, but it's earth science teachers, because I had two science teachers in high school that were both like, "Hey man, you should check out Fish."
Oh God.
And
I'm
I
just saying
did.
that they
I
look
had a
like
fish
math teachers I've had, and it's upsetting.
I know you're from upstate because you had a fish ear.
Anything else, Jerm?
The only other thing that I wrote down in my notes from it was that the Uber driver who brought me there, like I imagine, works for the Cleveland Tourism Board.
Yeah.
Because he's driving my fiance and I around Cleveland, just like pointing at different stuff and just like, you could live there for the price of X neighborhood in New York City. Like, he literally was just like pointing out neighborhoods and like buildings and being like, for the price of an apartment in Park Slope, you could live in that building.
I actually think there's a bunch of people that do that, because I did a comedy festival there like 3 years ago, and anyone from there will do that to you nonstop. I went to a bar. They're like, how much would this cost in New York City? Do you have an experience like this in that New York City? Like, over and over again.
Anytime you go anywhere, like when I go back home to Colorado, and I'll be like, someone's talking to me and they find out I live in New York. Now, like, oh, is it like, so is it great to be back in this cheap neighborhood? I was like, dude, I'm just stoked that not everything is covered in diarrhea. That's number one. My favorite part of going
Colorado's
anywhere.
covered in diarrhea?
No, New York is covered in diarrhea.
Oh,
Everything in New
gotcha.
York is covered in diarrhea. Don't move here.
Don't move here. Why?
Don't move here.
I'm stuck here now.
Where's the lie, though?
There isn't a lie. All right, let's get into it. Enough of this shit. Enough. Just fucking enough.
I found it. Sorry, it took me 10 minutes to find it because I was Googling fish spelled right. They had a flying hot dog, and it's still there.
Oh, I was wondering what that hot dog was about.
Yes, it's still there. It's by
Oh
the
my
bathroom.
God.
It's by the bathroom.
It's floating in the air now, and it's like super high up. And my fiance and I are just
Like
looking
the
over at
whale at the Natural History.
Yes, like the whale at the Natural History Museum. It's the hot dog that apparently fish like jetpacked on.
Dude, you should have done
All
a remake
members
of the
of
Squid
Fish?
and the Whale, but called it the Hot Dog and the Rock and Roll Museum, and then you jerk off and rub your jizz on those Converse
How
shoes.
many members of Fish are there?
Like 37.
90.
They all fit on that one hot dog.
They
Wow.
have a-
Or they're
they-
just like, okay, you, Tim, and Daniel, you get on the hot dog. You out
Like,
there.
they're like the
Tim and
polyphonic
Daniel.
spree.
Tim and Daniel are my favorite members of Fish.
I need to go see Fish for inspiration for our stupid band. We just show up and are just like 1, 2, 3, 4. Fish.
No, don't do that because it's
Definitely
long.
don't need to get inspiration from Fish
Please don't do
for
that.
anything
It's just
that we
gonna.
do.
It's just gonna be long, and it's gonna end with you really liking heroin, and it's gonna be bad.
I would recommend if you're gonna do that though, like go the fish route, then you probably have to start charging $140 for tickets and sell mushrooms in the.
Oh my God!
Parking
Enough!
lot.
Enough of this. We have to stop.
I think the listeners at home can perhaps tell from how long we've talked about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that we don't exactly want to talk about Black Flag. What the?
Yeah. Okay. So today's album is Black Flag's "What the," which when Jeremy first told me about it, I thought that I went in expecting it to be an album from the '90s that they recorded with some other singer, and it was gonna suck. I was feeling the pattern of all the other albums we've
Yeah.
listened to.
But this
One
so
is
different.
shocking. 2013.
Yeah.
How many years between the last release was like 1985, right?
85, so yeah, it was like almost like 30 years at that point.
Jesus H.
Why did this happen?
Josh and Elena, welcome, taking the place of Lucy. How do you think this album happened?
I think maybe one of them started work, like figured out how to do a cool filter in Photoshop and made that album cover. And they're like, well, we got to make an album now since we have this great cover.
First came the album.
Sorry,
the album
Josh.
cover
Josh
that looks
mentioned
like
the cover.
that looks like the symbol for all that, but it's throwing up.
Blink-182 has like a similar. Don't they have like? Isn't their logo a little man?
Oh, it's like a little man with like X eyes and like. Okay, so can I
They have a
Tiny
little man.
Blink-182 man.
say you're not totally off?
Yeah, because didn't the what's his face make that?
Ron
The-
Reyes, yeah.
Instead of the guy who's done all their
Raymond
albums.
Pettibon, yeah.
I'm so intuitive.
Also, we're gonna get into how much of a dick Greg Ginn is, but is it Ginn or Gin? Who cares?
Ginn.
He's a dick. Greg Ginn's brother is Raymond Pettibon, the guy who designed all of the iconic Black Flag artwork that everybody knows and loves.
Who's now like a genuinely famous artist
Yeah.
who is like well respected in art world. You
Yeah.
know, like he's a real art person and he's the brother of Greg Ginn. And then Greg put this album out and he's like, what if Ron Reyes drew it instead?
What?
Ron Reyes, the singer of the band, Greg Ginn, was just like, well, what if we just use this stupid, overstretched JPEG that he drew of a kid sticking his tongue out?
I wonder if it's because I'm sorry, I can't remember anyone's name involved. What's the artist's name again?
Raymond Pettibone?
Raymond, because I know him, but I'm an idiot. But I wonder if he asked for like a totally normal amount of money to draw the cover, and they were just like, "Man, you've changed." Fucking sell out.
100%. That is what
So
happened.
wait, Ron Reyes did the cover, or Raymond
Yes.
Pettibone? Okay,
No, Ron Reyes made the
and,
cover.
but
of
Raymond
this.
Pettibone did the Blink 182 little movie. Interesting.
No, Travis
stuff.
Barker did that. Travis Barker is a painter, and he made
Oh.
that weird face.
Oh wow!
Jesus
I'm curious
Christ.
about his other work now.
You go through a lot when you survive a plane crash. You really-
Or start a war in
too soon.
Iraq,
It's
George
not too
W. Bush.
Okay. I don't
Do you
know.
want to do some? I can do some background on this album, on the
Please.
band. I can do all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, Jeremy's bald. He can tell
I
you
here's
everything
the
you want to
thing.
know
I-
about Black
I-
Flag.
everything.
And so
Here's
can
the
I, because I don't have hair.
Black Flag was a band like I got into like a few of the songs on like Damage when I was in like high school, but I tried to do Slip It In and like just some of the other stuff. Like even today, Josh and I listened to My War for the first time, and I was just like, why is this for people?
Yeah.
Why do people like this?
Well, that's
that
the thing
much?
is like 90% of Black Flag music is atrocious. It's real bad. And the thing about them is that like they were purposely bad for a while. Like they were an on purpose bad band for a good long time. Like because the thing is that they had these fans that would come to their shows and would like for whatever reason, I mean, it was 80s hardcore and it was just like a big shelter for terrible people. But like all these people would come to their shows and be like, oh, that's that guy, Henry Rollins. We should fight. And they would just fight him. And they would just fuck him up. And like he would fuck them up. And that's why he got all muscly and crazy. And like that's why he's such a psycho now. Because people would come to the shows and they would try to fight him. And
I didn't know this.
yeah, and so part of their whole shtick for a while was that they grew their hair really long and they all got into like bodybuilding and like fucking sludge metal because they were like, fuck these assholes who come to see us. Maybe we can not have these guys show up anymore. And that's why their albums get descendingly weirder and worse is because they're just trying to alienate the assholes who come see them.
but also, just, you know.
Yeah, also Greg Ginn smoked
Yeah.
so much weed. So much.
Yeah, let's not like act like there's too much thought put
Okay,
into
so
this.
how does the band start? It starts in like 1976.
76.
And they just, to me, it just sounds like the Monkees on fire. The stuff with what's his name, Keith Morris.
Keith Morris, yeah.
Keith Morris. I find that just the most vanilla, boring punk. I don't see anything really special about that.
Yeah, well, this is kind of the thing that we've talked about before, I think, where, like, sometimes as a punk, you have to like bad things.
Yes.
Because...
Black Flag is the definition of that conversation that you and Mike Abruzzi had. It's just like, as a punk, you gotta like the punk things of before things, even though you don't like them. That is 100% Black Flag. Is punks pretend to like that band.
I think that's unfair. I think there are a couple of good songs, and I think you just don't like them, which is totally cool. I totally get why you wouldn't like them, but I think there is something there in the original Black Flag. Some of the songs, yes, is most of it garbage, totally, but I think it's kind of bullshit to say anyone liking these songs is pretending to like them.
Oh yeah, no, I'm totally. This is a joke. We're
Really
doing
good.
this is a
Overkill.
joke of
I'm not hearing a
I
punchline.
genuinely like Nervous Breakdown. I think Nervous Breakdown's really good because it's
Yeah.
straightforward. It's not weird. Like the weird stuff is just like why? What? You made a good explanation as to why, but before that, I'm like, why is it just noodly riffs and it's like Red Hot Chili Peppers? I don't really. It didn't really do anything.
Do you like Circle Jerks? Because I actually really like Keith
I like
Morris
that.
Black Flag, and I don't like Circle Jerks.
I mean, I'm not even too familiar with like their
I like Off.
releases, but I like what I've heard better than Black Flag. I mean,
Yeah,
sorry friends, I don't really like Black Flag that much.
Yeah, here's the thing. I
fine.
like Damaged. I think that there's stuff on that that album sounds like it was on
Well,
purpose.
Wait a second. What about Elena? Elena, what?
Yeah.
What are your feelings as a punk singer?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like if I'm looking at like the top, like how Spotify has like the top 5 songs or whatever, I feel like those I enjoy all those, and especially what's that TV song that they
TV
did?
Party.
TV Party.
I love. I do. I
It's
love
so funny.
TV Party.
It's
Seen
so
in Futurama.
funny. It's so
Funny.
silly, and that's like something that I really enjoy in a lot of bands, like bands that have a sense of humor. But like, I don't know, like any song that doesn't have like a little bit of humor, I'm just kind of like, or playfulness at least. I'm just like,
For punk,
calm down.
especially.
Yeah.
Well, they had humor. That was a big thing, and they had humor, and then it got punched and kicked out of them, and then they were just like, "Fuck it, we're going to try to be Black Sabbath," and
Yeah.
that's why you don't like it because you don't
Yeah.
like Black Sabbath.
All the titles.
No, we can't
Whoa.
talk about that.
What? Oh yeah, we can't open up that can of worms.
Oh well, no, it's fine. But also, those two bands don't sound similar.
No, but they literally
My
said they
War.
were.
Yeah,
they were trying
but
to
they
be Black
genuinely
Sabbath.
are trying to be Black Sabbath by the end.
Yeah, that's
They're
My
failing
War
at
is
it, but-
trying to be Black Sabbath.
No, Loose Nut is trying to be. Black
I have not heard
Sabbath.
that one, so I don't know.
what's the album where the second half is like nothing left inside.
Is that Family Man?
I don't know. It's a really famous one where they're just like, yeah, every punk is like, yeah, you skip the second half, you know.
Yeah, because the second half is all Henry Rollins' spoken word.
Yeah, it's everyone's spoken word over a bad War Pigs. Yeah.
Okay, I want to hear that. Here's the thing. I'll probably like that, though.
Hey, I don't want you to hate anything.
You'll be the first.
because we already hate enough.
Okay, so why does this album happen? What the fuck?
So okay, so there's like there's a prevailing theory about this, which is that this is Greg Ginn's spite album. This is all him trying to spite the rest of Black Flag.
He's the only one that's a part of this album.
Yes.
I don't necessarily think it's that. I think it's a little more of the like there is a spite element, but not like a fuck you to Black Flag. More just like that delusional punk syndrome where you like become 40 and you're like, I still got it.
Yes.
All these losers say I lost my edge. I'm still real. I'm the realest motherfucker in the room.
Well, but yeah, so
Yes.
it's that is definitely the emotion there. But what's happening right before this album comes out, for like the 3 to 4 years before, is the rest of Black Flag have all gotten back together without Greg.
Yeah.
They've gotten back together and they've started playing out and doing shows as the original Black Flag. And Greg Ginn gets really mad and he tries to sue them. So they say, okay, sorry, we're not actually Black Flag, we're Flag. They're very clearly like trying to fuck with him. And this, I think, is Greg Ginn coming out and saying like, all right, well, if you guys are going to thwart all my legal attacks on you, then maybe I can just rock you to death.
That makes so much sense because I was listening to this and I was like, why are the bad guitar riffs the loudest thing in this mix? Because every single other thing on this album is buried.
Yeah.
I have never heard anything buried. And you just hear a dude playing guitar that sounds like if my grandma fell into my guitar while it was on for some reason.
And the solos try to be really good, but it's like if someone's dad broke out a solo and it just stops the party and everything. Like, really not good.
Yeah.
It was very droning. I feel like this is a good album if you're trying to go to sleep or, you know, trying to get some office work
There's a
done.
pause.
You were
Positive.
correct because Samantha fell asleep in the car when we were listening to it.
Wait, are we? Yeah, isn't this whole podcast about being positive?
Yeah,
No,
we're going
okay,
to try
the
to be
first positive.
positive.
We're going to come around to it at some point.
We gotta
I have
get-
some positives.
Okay, yeah, let's go.
I just love "What the" as an album title. I think it's so funny.
Yes,
That's
I like
actually
that.
fair.
That's fair.
I like that.
I will
Not
say,
for this band, though.
I will say it's a very dad move, but like it's very much he's like, these kids don't even know what's about to hit them. They're gonna be like, what the?
And you know what else? These little kids, I'm going to draw a picture of them and put it on the cover, and then I'm going to expand the size. But I made it too small to begin with, so it's all pixelated.
I like, well, you know, the little man's head. It's not perfectly circle. I'm just like, that's very punk, and I like that Greg Ginn's name is like 2 G's. I like is that alliteration? Yes, that's
Yeah.
alliteration. I love alliteration.
like a Marvel character.
Yeah, all the song names are really funny too. I don't know, just got a good laugh out of it.
So, yeah. Here's a funny thing that I found out and I didn't know. So, this album, the reason that they were able to do this album and there was able to be 2 different Black Flags at the same time is because Black Flag has had so many members. They've had like 8 different drummers. They've had 3 or 4 different singers, like the most famous being Henry Rollins, but the second one was Ron Reyes, who sung on this album. But Ron Reyes originally wanted to play guitar. Greg was like, I play guitar, you sing. And that's why he ended up leaving. Flash forward to a million years later, this album comes out, and everybody hates it. Ron Reyes is doing the vocals on it. Ron Reyes leaves Black Flag to go join Flag as a guitarist.
Well, wait. Do you know the story?
What?
Yeah, that's one thing. But even crazier than that, do you know the story of how Ron Reyes left the band?
No.
Okay, so they're on stage. The band is on stage playing, and their tour manager, former professional skateboarder Mike Vallely, comes out on stage and literally just takes the microphone from Reyes and says, "You're out of the band." And then Reyes leaves. Mike Vallely finishes the set, and then Reyes apparently, like, right after leaving, is just like, "Oh, I'm really glad somebody did that. Just glad to have this part of my life over."
And then he just went straight to Flag?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
God.
Flag is great. I saw Flag at Riot Fest, and they were awesome.
They're so sick.
They're great.
They're really great because they're Black Flag.
Black Flag, they
And
only
Black Flag
do-
are great.
They only do Reyes era songs, and they don't do any of the Henry Rollins stuff. And honestly, the Rollins stuff is all a huge bummer.
Wait, they only do the Reyes era stuff? There's only an EP.
There's just like 5
Well, but like
EPs and
that,
singles.
like the pre-Rollins era stuff, because Keith Morris sings.
Keith Morris sang on
Right.
yeah.
So it's like everything from like that first 4 years.
And also, so
They do Damage too, because Keith was originally supposed to sing those songs.
Yes.
right?
Yeah. They also
And there are
They also do so. Black Flag. The 2 main people were Greg Gannergen or whatever, who everybody hates, and the bassist Chuck Dukowski, who everybody loves, and is like a punk rock dad. Like even after he left Black Flag, he still managed them and stuff. And so they do all the songs that he wrote, and I think he wrote TV Party. I think actually. I'm probably wrong. The YouTube comments will let me know. They'll find out where my mom lives and tell her that I'm wrong. But Dukowski wrote all the fun songs in Black Flag, and so Flag also does those.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
I have a question. So you saw Flag with Ron Reyes as the lead singer?
No, I saw Flag with Keith Morris as the lead singer.
Oh,
The original.
okay.
The original. So he was like, he did the first EP, and Dukowski's in it, and then the rest is just the Descendants, I guess.
Well, no, because Dez, who was their Dez Cadena, is in Flag.
yes.
Who playing guitar? Do they have 2 guitarists in Flag then?
Did they?
I think now
did they
they do, yeah.
tour after this album? Where they're like, "Oh, we got to go support
Yep,
the album."
they did.
Okay, all right. I didn't know if it was just like, "Oh, my Spite album," and then
Oh,
I'm
wait,
gonna
what
go
is
sit.
the name of the tour? Because it has a really fucking funny name.
We need to bring this album out on the road immediately.
It's called the $25 Ticket Tour.
Why? I just don't know. When people do their Spite album, I'm realizing why does it have to be 18 songs?
Jordan, I feel like you're someone who doesn't have a lot of spite, because if I wrote a Spite album, I would write 18 of them. Not songs, albums.
Well,
I get that
I
with
mean,
that.
I guess because like this era of like punk hardcore is supposed to be quick and messy, so he's like, I'm gonna make sure you really listen to it.
But it's all the same riff. This whole album is just him playing the same riff,
Yeah.
and it's so loud.
But that's the dirty secret of early Black Flag that nobody ever wants to admit to, is that every song is basically the same song with like a different set of lyrics just dropped on top of it. They're mostly the same thing. Like White Minority sounds very similar to like Jealous Again, and like Jealous Again sounds very similar to Fix Me. Like they all have the same general vibe to them, but they're just fucking sick. They're just some summer jams you want to like hang out to, you know?
And throw beer
I don't want
bottles
to
against
hang
the
out
dumpster.
to Black Flag songs, except for like I would hang out to and listen to Gimme Gimme Gimme. I would be excited if I was at a barbecue and that came on. That'd be fun because it's a really goofy song.
Yeah, that's a good one to flip Bergs to.
I just remembered
Yeah.
something really funny, too. Sorry. Henry Rollins left Black Flag, and he made a band called the Henry Rollins Band. And then a few years later, Ron Reyes made his own band called the Ron Reyes Band. He didn't even try to like come up with a name. He was like, if Henry can do it, I can do it too, because we were in the same band.
What does everybody think of Rollins?
Oh, musically or as a
Both, all
as
of
a
it.
person, he's a dick, and I just really know. And like his musical contributions don't really redeem it for me to the point where I'm like, oh, you know what? He's a dick, but at least I really like My War. No, it's just he's kind of annoying.
Elena?
I don't have like I wasn't a big Black Flag person. There wasn't like a thing that I really delved into. But I don't know. I've enjoyed how like diverse he's been and how he's just like, well, I want to do this talk show hosting thing, and I want to do spoken word. And I think I've seen him say something like, oh, I'm not the best at these things, but like, what else am I gonna do? Like, I forget what the quote is. Like, I'm only qualified to like flip a burger or something. I'm just like, oh, that's cool, you know?
I do like that.
I will say that I do enjoy every time he shows up as some weird henchman side character in
Yes.
the 90s movie or early 2000 movie.
I get
Or in
pumped.
The Chase with Charlie Sheen.
I get
Or-
stoked to see Henry Rollins in something.
Henry Rollins in Sons of Anarchy as a random white supremacist is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the
Did you ever
tattoo that you can't tell people, you can't say out loud. Incredible. So intimidating.
Did you ever see The Devil's Tomb, I think it's called? This was like
No.
during one of the big Hollywood strikes, and there was this movie that was put out. I think it's called The Devil's Tomb. It's got one of the guys from Sons of Anarchy in it. It's got Henry Rollins in it, and the lead man is Cuba Gooding Jr. And this is the movie that did in his career. Like, this was the end of Cuba Gooding Jr.
Oh my god.
And the movie is something along the lines of like these army guys have to go to this like secret underground base, but then it turns out that base is guarding the door to hell. And then Henry Rollins plays a priest.
Sick.
Somebody thought to
Sick.
themselves, like, you know who would be a great priest? That big man with the tattoo.
And
I
the
think
most perfect chin.
I think it's more just like we're really turning the stereotype on its head, don't you think, guys? Like,
Yeah.
Look, a cool priest.
Yeah, he's like a real anime priest. Priests are always cool in anime.
All right, here's the thing that I actually don't know. Why did Keith leave? Why did Henry Rollins join Black Flag?
Okay, so this can segue really nicely into the Greg Ginn bit.
I just want to point out that Katie instinctively handed me the mic because she knows that I'm bald and I know the answer to this.
no, I just know when we get into music history, all the men are gonna yell, and I just sit here and check my phone.
Okay, but so this will transition nicely into the Greg Ginn is a piece of shit thing, because every singer that's left Black Flag, because it's Keith, and then it's Reyes, and then it's Dez, and then it's Henry, right?
Mm-hmm.
And every singer who's left Black Flag has said one thing that's like a normal thing where they're just like, you know, touring is just really hard. 80s hardcore guys are fucking shitheads. I don't want to be in the band anymore. But all of them have an additional addendum to it where they also say, Greg Ginn's real hard to work with.
Jesus.
And the way that it ends is that Dez is the singer, but he doesn't know how to be a hardcore singer, and he just like tears his throat up, and then he's like, I don't want to fucking sing in this band anymore. I want to play second guitar, and they're like, okay, cool. And then they just like meet Henry Rollins by chance, and then Henry Rollins becomes the singer.
That's it?
That's kind of it. Yeah, they just meet him by chance. Like, they're kind of friendly, but then he like goes to their show and he sings a song with them because Dez is like fucking bleeding out his mouth, and then they like call him to audition. He comes and auditions, and then he's in the band.
Is that how you became the lead singer
Yeah.
of Ellen?
Yeah, who was bleeding out the mouth?
Ellen and
Ellen
Genesis
won.
an instrumental band, and I was like, hey guys, how let's give this a shot.
Who'd you have to beat up?
Nah, we just hug.
Well,
Yeah, just like at the end of an Ellen DeGeneres show. They always hug. They do.
Jordan, you might appreciate this because if you don't know this is very funny. At the time, Henry Rollins and his best friend Ian MacKay worked at Haagen-Dazs in Washington, D.C., and there's a photo of them as like little boys, just little boys working at Haagen-Dazs. It's very cute. You should
There's a
Google
whole
it.
book.
It's
of them.
really cute.
My
Is it
really?
ex-girlfriend had the whole coffee table book of pictures of Henry and Ian working at Haagen-Dazs.
That's really cute. I really like
It's a
that.
really cute book, actually, and they're very charming pictures.
Yeah.
That's the most ex-girlfriend book I ever heard.
And you know which one it is.
Yeah, dog, I've known you too long, motherfucker.
All
Cussing.
right, well, Katie, if you don't want to talk about music history, can you talk about Jeremy's ex-girlfriend history?
I would love to, except I'm just saying Jeremy has dated a litany of difficult women, and now he is with a very nice one.
End of story.
End of story.
So what did we like?
About this album?
What do we
Yeah.
like about this album?
You like the artwork.
Yeah, I love it. No, I don't like it. I like the title. I think it's cool.
What the?
And it makes me laugh. Yeah, like seriously, like you know, you had fun. I had fun listening to you say it.
It's also great low-hanging fruit if you're like a music critic just starting out, and it's like, Johnson, get in here. I got an easy one for you. I need you to review the new Black Flag album. Yes, sir. Right away, Mr. Pitchfork.
Another.
My name is J. Jonah Pitchfork, and I need pictures of James Murphy.
My daughter's marrying an astronaut.
There's a theremin on this album, which I just saw on the Wikipedia page. I was like, where'd that go? I want to hear that.
There's some like space
Miss
noises
Branch,
in there.
get me a theremin.
I didn't.
You take this passion pit article bullshit to Noisy and you never come back here. Anyway, there was a theremin. I like that it went.
I didn't hear it either because it was buried, so you could hear Greg Ginn's fucking guitar playing.
Okay,
we need to
wait.
talk-
Can I give
Yeah.
my positive, because it is Greg Ginn's guitar playing. Actually, like, I think that his riffs are stale and boring, and I don't think that it does anything interesting. But I have to say that the one thing that I kept thinking when I was listening to this is like, Greg Ginn sure does still own the same guitar and amp.
Yeah, I was.
You know, it sounds like it's supposed to.
That was my thing. It was my journey with this album because I was like, if an old band like this is gonna do something new, because we've heard bands that have like changed their sound and people do not like it, and then we hear something like this where it sounds to their credit, it sounds pretty similar to old Black Flag stuff. But I fucking hated it.
Yeah.
I think the positives, I thought that the drums sounded okay when I could hear them. This album kind of answered the question. I'm like, I think you just gotta die. I think
man.
you shouldn't.
Die.
I think this band should have. It's like just bands
Worked
like
for
this.
Joy
You just
Division.
need to stop being a band.
Well, that's what's such a fucking huge bummer about this for me, man, is like we've talked about a lot of albums now where it's like a band comes back, or like a band does something that their fans hate, and we're like, well, why do you hate it? Because it's different.
Yeah.
You know, like the Anus one. You know, Insanus.
Oh yeah.
Vargum,
Morbid Angel.
Morbidum, whatever. Like, I get how those people feel now, because like listening to this, like as a Black Flag fan, it's like it's depressing. It's like, this is my Van Halen 3.
Van Halen 3 was a change. This is not different. This is just Black Flag being Black Flag, but it's 2013 and it doesn't make sense.
I didn't hate this album because I listened to this and I mostly fell asleep halfway through it.
Yeah.
But afterwards I listened to the Jealous Again EP, which I remembered really liking, and that's the one that
That Ron Reyes is on.
is this Ron Reyes or is this the other dude? I cannot remember.
Ron Reyes.
Ron Reyes on this. That's the EP that Ron Reyes did with Black Flag, and they sound exactly the same. The only difference is that it sounds like they got a metronome, because or they're playing to a click track or something where the drums are not like gimme, 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 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
You know, they're on time.
I love.
Stole that joke from Ben
they are
Kohler,
not-
by the way. Ben Kohler, whenever he plays Gimme, 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 he counts 1, 2, 3, 4 wrong, and it's the funniest thing on the planet every time.
Every time we do that. But it's also the songs on. There's some off time shit in this album.
Yeah, totally, but there's not as off time as the early shit.
That is one of the most charming things to me in the early Black Flag stuff is like, they start off with like a drum beat.
Yeah.
And then he's like singing and then he goes 1, 2, 3, 4 and then it's a different tempo for no reason. I'm like, that is one of the few like punk things that's just like that is stupid and it's really charming.
I don't dislike the off-counting drumming. I also just think it's really funny that the reason that is that way is because everybody used the same drummer. They all used that guy Robo, who wasn't a good drummer. And everybody's like, I like Robo. I like Robo too. And that's why the Misfits also sound like that.
Well, and then their other former drummer is Chuck Biscuits, who is the drummer of Danzig for like the first 4 albums.
Yes. Do you know what's so fun? Have you guys ever seen what Robo looks like? He looks like he looks exactly like Keanu Reeves in the first Matrix when he comes out of the little pod. Just a wet, completely bald person. Like a malnourished bald dude jumping out of Jello.
I've never thought his name was Robo. I always thought it was Robbo. Like he's like an Australian guy named Rob.
No, they called him Robo because he played like a robot. Not a good robot though, like a robot that drank too much in the 70s.
Yeah, not like that cool robot band that covered Ace of Spades and whipped its ass.
That's the best band on the planet. Man. That rules.
It's my favorite band.
You guys, YouTube is awesome.
Has there been a band, like an old punk band, that put out something new that was like, this is pretty good? Like, was the Descendants
the
thing
Descendants, yeah, the Descendants thing was good.
Yeah?
People actually really like it, and like their reunion shows have been great. Like I saw them, and they're fucking sick.
I think from what I heard was good. It's another weird like hot take that I'll get shit for, but Descendants are cool. I've never been like, oh my God, it's the Descendants. Look at those bass lines. I just
Right here with you, brother. Let's hard
Yes,
style.
I'll take it a step further and say I like all better than the Descendants.
Ditto.
You like all better than the Descendants?
I do.
Yeah,
I
me
do.
too.
What?
I know. I'm not
That's
saying
crazy.
I'm not saying they're better. I'm saying it's like, I like some of these songs a little more.
How does it feel to be on the other side, Jeremy?
Oh my God!
I know. I got some real bad opinions.
Jeremy's looking at us like, this is what I do to people?
This is what it feels like.
So, are there other bands that have done like such a long break between? Because I know a lot of bands that put out new stuff that's like 10 years old, 12 years old.
Yeah,
tops.
like Neurosis is good.
They
still.
literally, Black Flag broke up before I was born and reunited after I had like graduated college. Like that's a long time. Oh wait, I didn't graduate. I
to
dropped
write
out.
new
but-
material. Who's like written new material? I'm like trying to think of.
You ever listen to this band Failure? They're like a 90s grunge hardcore band. They put out a new album and I want to say like 20 years and that was really good. At the Drive-In was not good.
Just keep listening.
Yeah.
The new Harper Lee book that she did before she died, fucking trash.
You know what?
That sucks, yeah.
You know what? I talked about this.
The Star Wars prequels, those suck.
Look, this is gonna sound biased, but because he's on our show. But I think a band that has existed the longest band in the aggressive music genre that has been able to sustain and change and remain relevant and churn out good shit is Converge. They are
Totally.
over what is it? It's like 20 years now.
More than that, they got to be almost 30 years because Ben didn't join the band until 1998.
Yeah, it was almost already.
So he's been
like
in the band
10
for 20
years.
years. But also, they didn't take a break.
What are you gonna do?
I have a very annoying opinion.
Go for it.
Oh no.
It's Green Day.
Get the fuck out of here.
Green Day have been around
Both of
since
you.
what,
gonna shake your hand.
1988, and they have put out so much music, and like they've had so many peaks and valleys in their career, and they're still around and they're still doing it. Like they haven't gotten dropped from Reprise yet. That's crazy.
Not only are they still around, but they're
Right. Okay,
probably
not
one
getting
of the most popular. I mean, one of the largest rock band. I mean, and whatever that says about mainstream rock in general. But I mean,
Yes.
and listen, the Foo Fighters have been writing the same records for years. That stuff is like boring dad rock. But Green Day is like I don't really like any of their new stuff, but they still churn it out and remain relevant, even though it's not great.
And
They still respect all their old stuff. You go see them, and it's like they're playing stuff off 1039. They're playing
you're
stuff
seeing
off
you're seeing shit
Yeah.
off of 1039,
Yeah.
and that's crazy.
and if you see them now and you hear the new songs played in between the old songs, they sound exactly the same. It's the problem is that their studio engineer is fucking garbage and makes them sound like they're like singing into Ariana Grande's mouth. But they together like I heard like 86 into Kill the DJ or some bullshit, and I was like, hey, that's not that bad. Live.
That's how they trick you.
And if you see them live, there's like an 80% chance that Billy Joe will have a fucking meltdown from
No,
alcohol and throw his guitar down
That
and
happened
stop singing.
one time.
That happened one time at the iHeart Music Festival.
Which
He
is
wasn't
pretty punk
wrong.
if you think about it.
Yes, and he wasn't wrong.
No, there's a difference between having.
He wasn't wrong. He's not Justin Bieber.
He is not Justin Bieber. He's a
still
40-year-old
out.
man who is
He's
coming.
gotta be 60 now.
We
Also-
we are not in a place to judge a man for dressing silly after a certain age.
Yes.
We are all of a certain age at this point.
Also,
enough.
he still brings little kids up to play songs with them and gives them guitars.
Gives them the guitar every time.
It's awesome.
and
Their guitar
recognizes-
budget must be through the roof.
Yeah. Just saying.
I don't know.
Just
I
little
don't think
things.
it's. I don't think it's the same thing. I think Green Day and the Foo Fighters very similar. I think they are very similar in career paths where they are still relevant. They churn out stuff. They haven't gotten dropped. Having not gotten dropped from a label is not like a mark of a good band.
Pretty
in rock. I think
in
longevity
rock,
is,
it's pretty hard.
Well,
man.
It is
Okay,
hard, but
so-
I'm saying like you remain the top respected thing in your industry, and you're churning out critically acclaimed shit. Only
okay.
Converge is doing.
But I'm going to counter that because so you're looking at it from a perspective of I know that you do not like Green Day. Converge makes
I respect the fuck out of Green Day, though.
Okay, well then
I'm
I
not
guess we can
saying-
end this conversation.
Yeah, I don't.
That's all I wanted was you to respect Green Day. That's all.
please, for the love of
Because the thing about Converge, I posted the new Converge song on my Facebook as like song of the summer 2K17, and my mom was like, "What is this? There's so much yelling. It's just been 30 years since I was born, and she still hasn't figured out that I like this kind of stuff."
Right.
But what's interesting to me about Green Day is that it's still really. They've never been like so punk that you can't listen to them. They're not like some fucking shitty basement band that was only going to be in a basement for the rest of their life. Like they wanted to cover Brown Eyed Girl. They did. They played like high school proms and shit. They're the same fucking band. They just make a lot more money and have a lot more people liking them. I will defend the shit out of Green Day.
I have a question for Josh.
Yeah.
Josh,
Yes.
but you really like Billy Joe's new band Longshot, right? Or the Longshot?
Yes. Yeah, I mean that's
I haven't
just,
heard them yet.
It's just Billy Joe playing really well produced power pop songs, and it's great.
Is it like more like Pinhead
Exploding
Gunpowder, or is
Hearts-ish.
it more in like the opposite direction?
No, it's super catchy. Like if you heard like Exploding Hearts and stuff like that, it's very like that. Only it doesn't have that like purposely lo-fi. It's just well recorded. It's great. It's so catchy.
And Pinhead Gunfire is awesome.
Pinhead Gunpowder is what Green Day should have been. After
They're the
Warning.
fucking
They're awesome,
best.
but they wouldn't have lasted. That's the thing is they would have been that band that people our age go to see, and they would have never gotten new kids unless they were like dumb fucking suburban kids who were like, I like punk rock in 2018. Like that's a thing that you can actually do.
See, now that I'm thinking about this, I think Green Day. If you want to use the same argument about Green Day, you also can apply to Blink-182. Because they have remained the same amount of relevant that they have,
But they're not the same band. They're a completely different configuration, and I don't think they have produced as many good albums.
No, of course not.
I just don't think that musically you could compare like the evolution of Green Day to like you take like Cheshire Cat up until Take Your Pants Off and Jacket. What is it, just better production? But then you look at like 1039 up until Nimrod, which like there's like so many different influences on that record, except that goddamn shitty Seinfeld acoustic song that ruined everything. But it's a really great record. It's a great record, but I think Blink-182, they've just been the same.
I think that people sell them the same way, and I think
I
the
do.
same
I
amount of people
same
like
category.
them.
Wait, but here's the difference. Okay, I've seen both Blink-182 and Green Day in the past 5 years. I don't know why, but I will tell you there's a huge marked difference, and that is that kids still like Green Day. I go to a Green Day show, and there's a huge part of the audience that is under 15. I saw Blink-182 3 years ago. No one in that audience was younger than 25.
My mom's a therapist to children, and on the regular, she texts me to tell me that tiny children listen to Green Day.
You know what? Valid. I'm gonna secede. I'm sorry I brought us here.
I'm just
I know, we should get back to Black Flag.
No, if you have a few.
My main thing that I think about this album is that bands break up for a reason, and this band broke up because Greg Ginn is an asshole. And there's a reason why Flag is doing well, and Black Flag put out the worst thing anyone's ever heard.
I think the reason is that punk is about adolescence. You can't fucking write this music after a certain.
50.
You can't write it after a certain age because it doesn't apply to you.
Yeah, I remember like this few times I did zone in on lyrics. I'm like, y'all too old to be singing about this.
Yeah.
You're too fucking old, Greg Ginn.
Greg can't play guitar this badly anymore and make me listen to it because he's too old.
Yeah.
You've had 30 years.
You could have learned.
You've had 30 years to learn what a solo sounds like. You can't just go like.
It's as simple as this. It's like When you're 18 and you're punk, it's like, wow, those guys are assholes. They're a good punk band. And when you're 55 and you're an asshole, it's like, wow, those guys need to get sober.
Yeah, you're correct. That's really it. Katie?
I don't like this album.
Can I just say one last thing? Is you know whose fucking fault this album actually is? Henry Rollins.
Yeah.
This is on
Why?
Henry Rollins.
Yeah, it is.
Why?
Because if you ever read Get in the Van, one of the last stories about Black Flag is that Greg Ginn calls Henry Rollins up and he says, I'm quitting the band. And Henry says, but it's your band, so I guess we're just over now. And the band breaks up, and that's how they break up. Because Greg Ginn is the only
What?
original member left at that point. Henry Rollins is the second senior most member, but he's already, he was a new guy at some point.
Yeah.
So he says, Greg, this is your band. The band's just over. And they break up. If he hadn't done that, and they had gotten another guitar player, then they could have toured for another year or so and then broken up. And then this never would have happened because Greg Ginn wouldn't own Black Flag.
Well, look how smart Henry Rollins is. He's like, yeah, it's been 5 years. That's too long to be in a punk band.
But also, Henry Rollins in the back of his head knew that he had to make Jack Frost, and he couldn't do that if Black Flag was still around.
All right, favorite tracks. Most
I
positive
literally
track.
cannot remember anything about this album. I can't tell you one song on it.
There's only 2 songs. There's the first song and then the last song. And the first song is the most of the songs pushed together while I was cleaning my apartment, and then the last song.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the first song.
I'm going with the last song. I think Off
the
My
shoulder.
Shoulders at least sounds like something else.
Elena and Josh?
Concur. Last song, he was like doing some like Chris Cornell type stuff, or trying to. It seemed like, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, I'd say the last song. It was the closest thing to Green Day for me, so most stoked on it.
I'm going to say I know this because it was the only time I looked at my phone to not see how much time was left. It was on the song The Chase, and I was just excited that he was playing power chords instead of... So I'm going to go with The Chase.
I'm sure when I go back and listen to that, I will agree. There was one in the middle there somewhere that I didn't hate. I'm not
It's
even
that
trying-
one. It's right in the middle. It's dead in the middle.
I'm honestly not trying to be sassy. I just honestly
I know.
Don't
There's
remember.
The thing is-
nothing that registers.
No one blames you for that opinion.
But the real question is, why are you going to go back and listen to it?
I'm not Jeremy.
Jeremy, what have you re-listened to? I'm actually curious.
Oh, okay. Well, I've re-listened to the Anus one. I've definitely re-listened to
What did you
Anus.
think?
It's still good. It's still really good. That's still number 1 for me. I love that album.
Yeah, what are our rankings now?
It's too many to do
Okay,
now.
top and bottom.
Top is still Anus. Bottom is still Super Collider.
Drew.
Top is Limp Bizkit. Bottom is Van Halen 3. They can't.
Yeah,
There's
Katie?
nothing.
I think my top is also Anus, and my bottom. I don't know. We've listened to so many bad albums. I think it might be Pooper Collider.
My top is Graveyard Classics. Great time. Had a great time with that. And bottom is Van Halen 3. I can't believe they did that to me.
I can read some Instagram comments.
Yes, let's do that real quick.
This is
In-
something from the comments.
Yeah.
User Meth Syndicate says, best Black Flag album / artwork of all time.
We like Matt Syndicate. He makes very funny shirts.
I have
Good
one of
job,
his shirts,
Eric.
The Rule.
Hell yeah. Is that a question or a statement?
That's a statement.
Statement.
But I have a question from user God Did Forgive Jeffrey Dahmer.
This guy has been following us for years. What did he say?
His question is there anything worse than this?
Yes.
Van Halen 3.
Pooper Collider. Yeah.
A lot of things. Genocide.
Here's the thing.
World
The
Hunger.
second to last season of Big Love.
I'm actually gonna disagree with those last few statements. This is pretty awful, you guys.
Ooh, user Geokobos says, This whole album is a shit show, and after this came out, I saw Black Flag here in Lansing, and Greg Ginn was a asshole to everyone at the show, and even was kinda a creepy asshole to a lot of the girls that worked at the club, and the opening band made a new song about him. However, the singer they had was my all-time favorite skater, Mike Vallely, and he is always cool.
Oh my God! This guy was at the show where where Ron Reyes got fired.
This guy was Mike Valet leaving that comment. I thought that was pretty obvious.
R.I.P. Matt Hoffman or whatever. Is he the dead one?
He is, yes.
Oh,
no,
God.
Dave Mira is the dead one.
R.I.P. Matt
they
Hoffman.
There are
Dead?
a lot of dead skaters.
R.I.P. Matt Hoffman.
They're both bikers. Ooh, and user Dead Morgan has my favorite comment we've ever gotten, where he says, only 32 more episodes until you cover H2O Go.
We'll have you
That's
back
a
on.
zesty comment.
No, I went to the H2O 20th anniversary of their first album show at St. Vitus, and after 3 songs, like, people were just screaming Madonna, and Toby was like putting his hand on his temple, just being like, "We're gonna do the songs in order. I'm gonna play Madonna at the end. Please stop shouting it." And no one did. And he was like, after 5 songs, he's like, "Fine, we're gonna play Madonna," and he did it. And then he went back to the rest of the songs on the album. And honestly, the Madonna cover was the best part.
That's their best song.
Yeah.
All right, plugs. Josh and Laney, do you want to plug your awesome band?
Oh yeah, let's plug it. Well, we're gonna have a record next year, full length, so that's cool. We have a couple shows. We have a show on August 11th in Long Island at Amityville Music Hall.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Never been there. That'll be fun. Woo! And we're working on a sketch, and I hope you guys like it because you guys are funny.
Where can they find you on the internet?
Oh yeah, go to our Bandcamp, Ellen and the Degenerates .bandcamp.com. Spotify, iTunes, YouTube,
Spotify.
all tunes.
Fucking
That's
EMI
it, what?
and Spotify. They're in cahoots in there.
I play
Josh,
in a
did you-
grindcore band. If you like
Josh, did
that.
you see a movie that you liked? Do you want to plug that movie?
I saw Hereditary.
What's the name of your grindcore band?
Oh, yeah.
I play in it's called High Cost, and it's just really fast. It's pretty much the opposite of Ellen and the Degenerates.
I can't wait to pick up quarters near you soon.
Yes.
You can find me on Twitter at Jeremy Thunder and check out my other podcast, Ballin' Out Super. I've seen a couple of you guys on Twitter saying that you listen to it. There should be more of you.
Yeah, more crossover promotional synergy.
I-
Anime, metal, it's the same thing, you guys.
I did some questions on my Instagram, and someone who is a fan of exclusively 2 Minutes sent me their personal fan art of Darling in the Franxx. So don't tell me you guys aren't out there. You're in my DMs, literally. Hey, why don't you slide into my DMs at Twitter at Katie Rose or Instagram? Oh, hello, Katie Rose. Or, as always, my birthday's next week. So my Venmo is at Team Carol. That's spelled Team Carol. Thank you very much.
Hey,
That
what's
was-
up, guys? It's Drew Kaufman, the bad boy, a.k.a. Kevin the Sound Guy, a.k.a. Drew Kaufman, the bad boy, a.k.a. at Diet Hellboy on Twitter. On Instagram, I am Drew Kaufman Photography. And also, I have an anime podcast now. We talk about anime and metal. It's called Lupin the Van Halen the 3. I fucked that bit up. Just please cut it. Lupin the Van Halen 3rd. I don't know. Man.
Boo!
Inuyasha. We watch anime and listen to ska. Thank you. Good night.
That's better.
Thank you, Jeremy.
All right, I'm Jordan Olds, and I don't like anime. You can listen to their podcast, but don't watch anime. Don't support Dragon Ball. That guy's creepy.
Which one?
Hank
All of
Dragon
them?
Ball.
Yeah, Mr. Dragon Ball. I don't know, the guy who hired him and still makes that poor grandma voice that large man.
Goku, get in here. I need photos of the Dragon Balls.
Yeah.
My name's J. Jonah Dragon Ball, and I need pictures of panties.
Kill it.
Follow my dog on Instagram at Great Hambino. It's great as in very good. Ham as in the meat, and bean as in what a bean is. And all right, well that's it. Go cradle some Dragon Balls. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.